Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have some more exciting news coming from Tamashii Nations and their SH FIGUARTS line. Namely, they revealed their figure from Deadpool and Wolverine movie that is now starting to play in theaters. I still haven't watched it and I assume that same goes for a lot of you guys, so if you haven't seen any of the trailers from the past month, I assume that this will be a spoiler for you. But then again, if you saw the thumbnail and you clicked on the video, I guess you already know how these two guys look in the movie. Also, if you did watch the movie, please don't spoil anything in the comments. Thank you. Okay, Tamashii Nations gave us some nice promo shots, so let's take a look at them. We're gonna start with Wolverine. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first Wolverine figure ever in FIGUARTS line, and we were waiting for a long time for this moment. It's about in line with how long we waited to see Wolverine in his classic yellow suit in live action, and now the wait is finally over. This FIGUARTS release looks amazing. The yellow and blue colors are toned down, and I love what they did with the overall design of the costume. They adjusted it so that it looks more realistic and not as simple as it looks in comics and cartoons, which I also like. All standard SHF articulation cuts are there, so you know that posing this guy around will be a lot of fun. Now, the obvious spoiler here is the masked head sculpt, because I don't think that they showed that in any of the trailers. On the other hand, Marvel Legends spoiled that first because they also have their version coming out. But I mean, we knew that him wearing the iconic mask has to happen in the movie, it just has to. And so going back to FIGUARTS promo images, the head sculpt looks really good. Those pointing ears of the mask are just right, at least for me, because that's the design that I love. Maybe there's something a bit off with the eyes placement. Are they maybe too high and too close to the nose? Should they be just slightly moved apart and down? I don't know, maybe it's just me nitpicking. Let me know how you guys feel about that down in the comments. The lower part of the head looks fantastic. The mouth is nicely sculpted and I love the way that the beard turned out. Let's hope that the final product will look like this. There is also an alternate head with grinning teeth for more action-oriented poses, and it also looks fantastic. But the painfully missing accessory here is obviously the unmasked head. I could say that there is a slight chance that it will be included in this release, but honestly, I don't think that it will be. If there was an unmasked head, they would have highlighted it on these promo images. So sadly, same as with all their Deadpool releases, we are not getting the unmasked head here. It's really unfortunate because the earlier mentioned Marvel Legends version will include that unmasked head, and it looks amazing. Hasbro is getting better and better with their realistic head sculpts and paint job. On the other hand, their release doesn't have an action-oriented head. Both their heads have more stoic face expression. So at least FIGUARTS gives you that. With how these companies operate, you know that there is a chance that down the line they will release another version with that unmasked head. But the question is, do you get this guy, this first release, or not? Because we don't know for sure if the second version will happen. Now, I'm sitting here looking at these images and I realize that there is another thing missing from both Legends and FIGUARTS release. It is the non-sleeved arms. So that kind of makes me to believe that there will have to be another release, a kind of battle damaged version that will have the unmasked head and torn sleeves. And I wouldn't be surprised if those versions came without masked heads. That's probably what will happen because they want you to buy both figures in order to have the ultimate version for your 1/12 collection. And I know that it's business, but I hate when they do that. Going back to these promo images, I like the texture of the suit. It adds to that realistic feel of the design. There is a small X logo on the belt. I also like how the dark blue parts like shoulder armor, gloves and boots have a nice shine to them in contrast to dull yellow suit. And then, of course, the fisted hands with claws that look really good. Now, I said fisted hands, but then I saw that there are also open hands with claws out. Does that mean that the claws are removable and can be attached to all alternate hands in this set, or the claws are fixed to the hands and we are getting alternate hands with and without the claws? That will be interesting to see. We don't know all the details at this moment, but I'm sure that we'll find out soon. All in all, if I get over the missing unmasked head, this FIGUARTS Wolverine looks amazing, and I'm sure that it will be great for posing and that a lot of collectors will want to have this figure in their collection. The second reveal is obviously the new FIGUARTS Deadpool, and yes, by the looks of it, but for the most part, this is the same sculpt that we got before, because this is actually the third time that FIGUARTS is releasing their Deadpool. They made one for each movie, even though the design is not that different. The only noticeable difference is the color of the suit. First one was red, second one was much darker, and now this new one is the brightest one. It almost looks kind of pinkish, but in terms of the sculpt, it's really similar to the previous two versions. I see some small changes to the costume, like for example, there are more black parts on the neck and in the middle of the chest. The belt is slightly different, but the biggest change are in the legs. Straps are on different places, they added few pouches and moved the knife on the other leg. They also slightly changed the design of lower legs and boots. But you only see all that if you are looking for the differences. The design in general looks the same, which I guess is a good thing, because those previous releases were great. Well, especially the second one, because it came with all the accessories that you need for Deadpool, and a lot of them were missing from the first release. If you are interested in seeing that second Deadpool, I have both review and the posing video on the channel, so I'll leave links for that down in the description of this video. So, because I have my experience with posing this guy around, I'm sure that this new release will be equally great for posing, no doubt. He comes with a ton of accessories as shown on this image, but I do have to say that some of the accessories that came with the second release are missing here. Like for example, alternate guns with smoke and firing effects. So in terms of accessories, their Deadpool 2 version, to me, is the ultimate winner between the three. But I have to point out that this new one does come with a new accessory, and it's the alternate fisted hands with small daggers. And on this image, you can see him with those hands. Also, based on these promo shots and what they've done before, this Deadpool will also come with few alternate heads with different eyes/face expressions, so that's good. Both of these figures are scheduled to be released in December 2024, and pre-orders will go up on August 1st, so if you want to get that Wolverine or both of them, be prepared for that crazy pre-order race. At what exact time pre-orders will go up, we'll probably know when the date approaches, but I also have to mention that it will probably differ from store to store depending on where you usually buy these Japanese figures. Anyway, that was my quick look at these FIGUARTS reveals, and now I would love to hear you guys. What are your thoughts about these two figures, especially Wolverine? Do you think that they will release the second, like, battle-damaged version with unmasked head? Do you plan on getting this figure or not? Do you prefer Marvel Legends version over this one? Let me know all of that down in the comments. As always, a special thank you goes out to my supporters on Patreon who are helping me to keep this channel alive. And of course, to all the rest of you guys, thank you so much for being here with me, thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see ya in the next one.